Canada has responded to Donald Trump's tariffs and it's not looking good.
Tariffs kick in, and whatever they tariff us, other countries, we will tariff them. That's reciprocal, back and forth. Whatever they tax us.
Donald Trump has announced that on April 2nd, reciprocal tariffs will take effect. He made it clear that if other countries impose tariffs on the United States, the U.S. will respond in kind. According to Trump, whatever they tax America, America will tax them right back. He also pointed out that some nations don't just impose tariffs, they use other barriers to keep American goods out of their markets entirely. In response, he said the U.S. will do the same to them.
I did it with China and I did it with others, and the Biden administration couldn't do anything about it because there was so much money there.
Good people, welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is A Week in Africa, and I'm your host Bemu. So we've seen these tariffs that are affecting the tariffs imposed by Canada on the United States, and Canadians are taking off shelves the American commodities in Canada. So the latest ones are the beverages, drinks. So Canada has retaliated on Trump's tariffs and its goods, including Kentucky and Jack Daniels, off their shelves. Right. So guys, I don't know what's happening, but let us watch these clips first, and then I will be back with more commentary. But if you've clicked this video, then kindly consider subscribing. Consider subscribing to this channel so that you can take me to 1,000 subscribers. Thank you for doing that. Let us watch the video. I'll be back with further commentary.
They couldn't do anything about it.
We buy from the US more than China, Japan, France, and the UK combined.
Now, in response to Trump's 25% tariffs on Canadian goods, effective March 4, 2025, Canada is retaliating.
We provide a lot of energy to the US. Oil and gas, fertilizers, so potash, uranium for their nuclear sites, hydroelectricity. So ultimately, there is an interdependency between the US and Canada. But when we hear 25% tariffs, it's an existential threat.
Canada has responded to Donald Trump's tariffs and it's not looking good. Canada pretty much said, if you're gonna hit us with a tariff, we will happily cut the power off. And in case you didn't know, Canada supplies a lot of power to states like New York, Michigan, and Minnesota. So if they pull the plug, some experts are predicting a major blackout or an energy crisis for us. And that's not all. Here are some of the things that will be directly impacted because of the tariffs. Number one, gas prices, our electric bills, auto parts, and the car market in general, but also certain produce and groceries that are imported like avocados, electronics like computer, cell phones and tablets, clothes and shoes, and certain alcohols like tequila, whiskey, and bourbon. The tariffs that were implemented will go into effect today, March 4th, 2025. And please understand that grocery stores operate on a very thin margin, meaning they cannot eat the tariffs. So some of our groceries will be going up. Also, Canadian politician Doug Ford stated that Canada did not start this tariff war, but they will win. He also ordered to remove any American alcohol company from the Canadian shelves, and he stated that he doesn't understand why Donald Trump is attacking their closest friend and ally, and a tariff on Canada is a tax on America. Now, let me give you my 2 cents that nobody asked for. We cannot control what is happening, okay? So every time you hear the news, as bad as they are, I don't want you to panic or freak out. When we're talking about prices going up, it's going to take time for that to happen. We're gonna see an increase within the next 3 to 6 months. So if you got a tax return, please save that money. Now is not the time to go on shopping spree, be spending money on nonsense, and prepare for the rainy days, okay? I truly hope that our government comes up with a plan, like right now, so that we're not the ones who will eat the cost of these decisions. I am staying optimistic, even though it's not really looking good.
Donald Trump is ruining the economy. As I'm sure you know, Donald Trump announced 25% tariffs for all imports from Mexico and Canada. And CEOs from Target and Best Buy released a statement saying that price increases will take effect because of the tariffs. And no, this does not mean that companies who make their products in the United States will succeed, because these same countries placed retaliatory tariffs on us. Not to be outdone, though, Donald Trump said, please explain to Governor Trudeau, Prime Minister of Canada, that when he puts on a retaliatory tariff on the U.S., our reciprocal tariff will immediately increase by like amount. Why? He also goes on to say, if companies move to the United States, there are no tariffs. There are 350 million people in the United States, and we have neither the land nor the manpower to make everything we consume. We have to import it from other countries. So when you impose these tariffs, all you're doing is just making grocery prices and the cost of buying a home and everything else more expensive for the American people. I cannot wrap my head around MAGA and Republicans supporting this. And by the way, these people said, yeah, I know Trump's not a good guy, but grocery prices are too expensive. Those have to come down. The one thing that you're voting for him for, you're not even going to get.
Anybody else feel like you're in a movie, like a suspenseful movie right now? Every which way we turn, there's some kind of thrill, some kind of twist and turn. Like things are already expensive. If y'all didn't believe that that man's agenda was Project 2025, if you don't believe it by now, some might be wrong up there, because he's doing everything that he said, everything that they planned out in that damn Project 2025. Let's brace ourselves.
So the Trump tariffs on Mexico, Canada, and China started at midnight, and we are already seeing immediate effects. This is from a Fox News story where they go and interview a guy who owns a car dealership, and he talks about how it is already having immediate effects on his ability to sell cars.
Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, Ram.
Yeah.
Impact.
Dramatic. I sold order for a customer. $80,000 truck. It's $100,000 now. So he's not going to buy the truck. It's going to sit on my lot at the higher interest rates we're paying right now for floor plan, and nobody's going to buy the truck because it just had a $20,000 price increase.
Right. Kelley Blue Book will put the number up. They say the average vehicle will go up by about $3,000. Does it sound right to you?
No. It will not. We don't have the broad stroke. We don't have the linear, the tight strokes. But to me, it's a 25% tariff. So that affects our parts that come from over these countries, and a whole bunch of our cars.
And you've been basing your business model on free trade, basically. This is what the American Automakers Policy Council says, Maria, in response to this. They say our American automakers invested billions in the U.S. to meet the requirements of the current free trade agreement. They shouldn't have their competitiveness undermined by tariffs that'll raise the cost of building vehicles in the U.S. and stymie investment in the American workforce, while competitors from the outside of North America benefit. The German, there's no tariff on the German cars.
No, they're
Japanese.
They're going to be okay, but think about it. We built our business around that. The OEMs built their business around that, and now it changes on a dime, and we can't build a $4 billion plant overnight in the United States. So I think building in the United States is great. I think enhancing the participation from the other countries on the other things, but this is pretty radical.
I hear you. There you go, Maria, where the rubber meets the road here.
All right, great. Yeah.
Pennsylvania.
Yeah, exactly. Jeff, thank you. Thank you so much. Jeff Flock at the Dodge Ram plant. Not plant. It's not a plant, Chris. They're selling cars. Thank you, dealership. But you know what? Let me ask you this, okay?
Yes.
How many Dodge Rams do you see driving around Europe? Okay. How many Dodge Rams do you see driving around India? I mean, not many, I bet. Why? Because they don't buy our cars. And that's what President Trump is trying to change. Maybe Dodge should start building them here and selling them here.
First of all, they don't buy giant Dodge Ram trucks in Europe or India because for the most part, their roads are smaller. Like the last time I went to Europe, every single road was like 10 feet wide. And India, come on. We've all seen videos of Indian roads. Like, why would anybody need a Dodge Ram truck in India? And Maria, Thanks to Joe Biden, plants were starting to be built back in America because of the Inflation Reduction Act and the Infrastructure Act. Because that's how you actually incentivize and build in America, not through threats or tariffs that just make everything more expensive in the hopes that that will inspire somebody to build a plant. Like, there needs to be coordinated effort between state and local and federal government and union labor to build plants, not just 25% tariffs from everything coming from Canada. Especially since a lot of the parts we have never made and probably will never make in the United States. Free trade benefits everyone. Tariffs harm the consumer. And yeah, it is an immediate impact, and this is going to affect everything. Small businesses that get their product from China or parts for their product from China or Canada or Mexico. This is going to affect the cost of produce. This is going to affect the cost of gasoline. Trump is going to cause economic collapse with glee, and a lot of his MAGA followers will probably be like Maria Bartiromo and try to justify it and try to make the victims of this economic assault seem like the bad guys. Like, we're literally in a trade war now with Canada and Mexico and China. But, like, why? Canada and Mexico are literally our allies, our neighbors. Like, us and Canada, that's an extremely close relationship, and Trump has just completely destroyed it. And, I mean, I know why. Because he wants to bring the Gilded Age back. He wants all the money for him and his rich buddies while the rest of us work 15-hour days in factories. Like, that's literally it. He talked about it all the time, that he loved tariffs, which was like the Smoot-Hawley Act back in the early 1900s, which literally caused the Great Depression. But he also talks about how the late 1800s were an amazing time, that America was making so much money. And it's, yeah, because everybody was working in factories making like 2 cents a day while the robber barons partied in their castles. And to him, that is the ideal time to go back to. He was very explicit about that. So I'm really confused why everybody is shocked about this. Like, he wants to destroy the economy. And he's gonna do it.
I support 25% tariff on Canada! 25% tariff on Canada! Hello? Yeah, bro. They have no idea I'm Canadian. Yeah! Just get ready. Once this policy kicks in, all these Americans will flood into Canada. Yeah, to buy stuff. They don't even realize they're the ones who are paying the tariff. Yeah! By the way, you know how the tariff works, right? Good, good. Alright, it's time to get rich. 25% tariff on Canada! 25% tariff on Canada!
Here it goes. The tariffs are on. But here's the truth they're not telling you.
The tariffs that Canada levies and imposes right now on US products, this is not new. It's been predating Trump. Milk, 270% tariff. Cheese, 245%. Butter, 298%. Chicken, 238%. Sausages, 69.9%. Lol. Copper, 48% tariffs. Aluminum, 45% tariffs. Steel, 25% tariffs. We tariff their metals more than they tariff ours. You know, cars, 45%. TVs, 45%. Eggs, 163%.
How does that work for tariffing American cars? Usually tariffs are to protect like your own industry, but we don't have any Canadian car manufacturers.
I don't think they give a fuck.
Canadians love to shit on Americans, but the hypocrisy is uncanny. All these tariffs have been online from way before Trump. Sure, a lot of it has to do with supply management, and they're based on quotas. It does not absolve the fact that we tariff American goods. We are not for free trade, absolutely not. If not, we would flood the market with American products. In the end, this is nothing more than another hidden tax. Our industries cannot compete with the American industries, so the real loser is the consumer, the Canadian consumer, who ends up paying a higher price. Now the question becomes, why aren't our industries competitive? And that could be taxes, regulations, or just overall poor economic environment. But in the end, there's no need to rage. Canada, we're hypocrites.
So previously, Trump had warned that if they get imposed with tariffs, they will do so too. And in Toronto and Ontario, Canada is removing American liquor from their shelves. What does this mean? the people who have been employed in these factories back in America, right? The people who are distributing, the people who are mixing, the mixologists, you know, everyone is going to be affected. People are going to lose jobs. And what happens if majority of the, what will happen if majority of the citizens don't have jobs? It means that the economy automatically is going to crumble down. So I think Trump's moves in matters how he handles these things, I think he needs to rethink and sit back, and his advisors need to go back to the drawing table and rethink their decisions, because the tariffs imposed on Canada might bring catastrophic repercussions to the US, such as blackout, because Canada supplies a lot of power to several states in the US. Because if Canada dares to retaliate back, you know, if they decide that we're going to retaliate back, I'm telling you, brothers and sisters, you're going to suffer, because you have states like New York who are being supplied with power from Canada. And if someone is supplying with, you know, power is everything. I'm using power right now. Yeah. Without power, I cannot be here. I need electricity to power my phone, to power my laptop, to power my lights, to get my place well lit. So power is everything. Electricity is everything. And if you don't have electricity, then things are going to go haywire. And some of the products and services that are likely to get their prices higher. You have some of we have gas prices, electric bills, auto parts prices are also likely to rise as a result of these tariffs that are imposed by US on Canada, in case Canada decides to retaliate back. So it is now clear that Trump wants to destroy not just the economy but the good relationship between Canada and USA that has been long lasting, because I have said it in my previous videos that if you see neighbors fighting, then one of these neighbors is on the wrong side, of course. America is not doing what is right. And I know we're risking, this is a free media, this is a free platform, and by the way, I like to remind you that if you really love free media, free speech, then this is the kind of platform that these are the kinds of channels that you're supposed to be supporting. But I know we are living in the mercy of the hands of a few billionaires who own these platforms. So sometimes we might find ourselves getting censored here, but guys, don't stop supporting it. So as I was saying earlier, if you see neighbors fighting, then you know that definitely one of them is on the wrong side. And if Trump rethinks his strategies and policies on how to govern America, then he will not have a problem with his neighbors like Canada. And the relationship has been there, you know, they depend on each other. Actually, you see that there are some products that come from the like vehicles, you know, like liquor. There's some food products that come from like copper wires, you know, the eggs. They come from the United States, they go to Canada. You find that there are some products from Canada also, they get into the US, like agricultural products. So if you see these people imposing tariffs on it, even though from one of the videos I've seen that tariffs, or Canada imposing tariffs on the United States has been there, but I think with Trump's administration it is different. It is different because if you take a look at how things are being run actually right now, I think Americans, you just need to stand up and fight for what is right for you. And though some Canadians back in the videos, as you've seen, have a contrary opinion to this, as they say that Canadians imposing tariffs on USA, it has not been. It is not something of yesterday. It is something that has been going on time over time and time again. So it is time to stand up and say that enough is enough. We can sit down and discuss these matters as neighbors and as trade or business partners. You know, we depend on each other, so we cannot keep on fighting each other day in, day out. It has been my pleasure to be your presenter for today. It's a Week in Africa. My name is Bemu, B-E-M-U. You can follow me on all my social media platforms at Iam_Bemu001 on Facebook, on Instagram, on TikTok, on X. That's where I put a lot of my content. And I like to ask you, if any day you happen to visit Kenya, then don't forget to holler me up. You can also share your super thanks through my MiniPay my MiniPay account. My number is on my bio. My also PayPal link is also on my bio. So I'll really like to appreciate you guys for always supporting me. Thank you and God bless you. Peace out.